Hey guys, welcome to Curated Confessions, where we drink wine and talk design. I am Hillary Smith.
And I am Brittany Pelche.
And we are the owners and head designers of Britt Hill Interiors here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Maybe I should have said my other name. I'm Brittany Pelche Como.
How many aliases do you have?
I don't know, sorry. I always mess that up.
Did you say Pelche?
Yeah, I did.
Oh. I wonder how your husband feels about that.
I know, that's why I was like,
maybe that's
Como.
another podcast. Well, welcome to our first episode. We are here to, well, like we said, drink wine and, well, in our case today is champagne, but
cheers.
And talk about the real life behind interior design, not
the nitty gritty,
not the censored HGTV version. So everybody always asks how we met, and so that is today's topic: is how we met, how we got here, and what we do. So
here, being we are located, for those who don't know, in Prairieville, Louisiana. We're off the Airline Highway. We have a whole retail showroom, design center, so seasonal things, furnishings, come out and see us if you haven't already. But you'll learn throughout the podcast more of what we do and what we have to offer. But yeah, today, let's talk about us.
Fun. My favorite topic. Well, we met in design school in Las Vegas, Nevada, and
circa 2017. Oh, 7.
We graduated in 2009. So memories.
I'm way off.
That's awesome.
Dates are not my strong suit.
Numbers, really.
No.
We met, I'm going to say 06, 07. And we graduated in 2009. And it was a great time to be in Vegas. We went to a design school. And what made you choose design school and in Vegas?
Well, a lot of factors, really. I don't know. I never had, this might offend some people, but I never had a really strong urge to go to school in Louisiana. Like, you know, a lot of people here, like, I have to go to LSU or, you know, even up north or New Orleans. I did look actually first into design programs at UNO, but that was...
I don't know where that is.
New Orleans.
Oh, probably should know that.
But with Katrina happening in 2005, and like, so it just, I don't know, I didn't feel safe. That was still when like everything was devastated. And so I started looking at schools, and really what narrowed it down for me is the school Hillary and I went to was based in a quarter instead of a semester. So it was kind of accelerated, where we could get a bachelor's degree in design a lot quicker because the classes were a lot longer. And I was all about that. I wanted to get straight to work into design, and school was, yes, I know I needed to go to school to learn all the basics, but I started looking at schools and found one that was worldwide, so that was in the quarter system and accelerated. And then I started narrowing down location, like not too far from home, but far enough to where like I'd experience different things and be in the place where there was things to do, just something different than Louisiana. So for me, it was down to Las Vegas or South Florida. And love Florida, but I don't know. We visited Vegas multiple times, loved it, loved the fact that you could, you know, within an hour either go hiking or go to California, or there was just a lot more, I guess, more options. And and a lot of I did like the school that we chose because all of the professors, they actually worked in their, you know, field and the curriculum. They didn't just go to school to learn, you know, so I felt like I would get more out of that. So, yeah, that's how about you?
A boy.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that. Yeah.
My grandparents got remarried in Las Vegas, I think for their 50th anniversary. I really don't remember now at this point. I know, by Elvis. Adorable.
What?
And I met a boy. Woo.
On that trip, you met a boy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. He was like, why don't you come back and live here? And
he did not say that, I don't think.
You just showed up?
That
True
is how I do
Hillary
things.
fashion.
No, he did, but yeah, that didn't last long. But design did, so that was awesome.
Yeah.
I had looked at the Art Institute in Chicago.
I looked at that too, honestly. But I was like, ooh, that's cold.
That's a no for me. Mm-hmm. So I enjoyed the 117 degree Vegas heat.
And honestly, like, I grew to really like it.
Oh,
like, so I miss it. Even
I like when the asphalt is melting.
And you could just see it looks like a mirage over the desert.
The sky is on fire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it.
That hot air just blowing at you.
And a cocktail on the pool, by the pool. Yes, all of that. And the palm trees.
Maybe we should go back.
I don't know if it's the same.
It's not.
But and I'm old, and now, hormones and the heat.
Yeah.
And I like air conditioning. But I always liked interior design, even though I didn't know that was an actual profession.
Yeah, me either. I was just thinking about that the other day. Like,
grew up in a small town in like West Texas and New Mexico, and interior design is Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
And
Kirkland's. And
love that. But that was just, I didn't know that it was a design. Like, it was a profession. And now it's kind of crazy because every time I watch a movie and the wife is always an interior designer or an architect. And
I watched that Hallmark movie not long ago where it's like a designer and then she meets a guy and it's like a whole...
Well, that's every Hallmark movie.
I think, but when I was young, I don't know. I just...
Vineyard.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just, I back in the, I don't know, growing up, no one ever talked about interior design. It was definitely not something talked about in my household. And it was not something that I feel like was all over TV. And there was definitely, social media wasn't even a thing. And so, like, I didn't know. The first person I ever worked for, Dana Tinley, she was a photographer, but she also did some decorating on the side. And I always found it interesting, but I didn't think it still wasn't her profession. So I didn't think you could actually make a living in it. And so I went to nursing school because that's just practical.
Yeah, I have memories as a kid. My mom would take me to, like, we would go to New Orleans all the time. And this was before, I can't remember if it was before they had a house in New Orleans. I think they had an apartment at that time in New Orleans so every weekend they were there, so she would always take me to Hurwitz Mints, if anybody remembers this, when Hurwitz Mints was on Royal Street in the French Quarter, and it was like, I don't know, as a kid, it seemed ginormous. I think it was like 3 or 4 stories, had the elevator, and to me, like, I would ask to go there instead of the toy store. It was my dream of, like, a kid's. I would want to go there and stay for hours. I don't remember much. I have a terrible memory if it's not design related, but I have a distinct memory of going there, and they had this gorgeous silk plaid sofa, if you can envision it. It was like pinks and corals and orange and like had like tassels, and it was just like this beautiful skirted sofa. And I have this memory of like, oh my gosh, I cannot, like, I'd never seen anything like that. You always like go and see everybody's house. You have a beige sofa or you have a white sofa, so it's like, I just remember all this grand, unique furniture, and I didn't know what design was at that time. I just knew I was gravitated towards, that, and going to a porcelain doll store on Royal Street.
Those scared me.
I know.
My Nana has those, and I
always had to sleep
in that room. And
they are kind of scary, at night.
That's a no for me.
When I was a kid, I was like,
sorry, Nana, but that's a no.
But I guess the owners were so sweet. It was like Gingers or something like that was the daughter's name. And how the store was decorated, it was just like, it was also like a kid's wonderland. It was like pinks and blushes and all these beautiful dolls. And I don't know, that was like my great memories as a kid. And then that like turned into, they like accessorized with dolls, you know? So it was like
That sounds
I
terrifying.
know, it was, I don't know, to me it was.
Well, also, I was not a girly girl, so plaid and
Yeah.
porcelain dolls sounds like
Wasn't
my
your thing?
worst nightmare. But I mean, I was wearing a Troy Aikman jersey and playing WWE on the trampoline with my cousins, so I had a different childhood.
I would
But
get dirt on my hands and scream crying, you know. Wash them.
But I moving to Vegas was awesome for the fact that going to school we would take field trips to like set designs, like the
Oh, do you
circ
remember those
shows.
field trips?
And I mean, I remember and don't remember a couple of
I
them. They would
know.
take us to bars, which was awesome to
The Blue
talk.
Martini
What?
field trip.
So many
I
martinis.
actually won a cruise that night. Do you remember
That's
that?
crazy. Also, one of our students lost her wedding ring that night because she was sorry about that. But I do remember that we had a great time there.
Yeah. I remember the professor was like, "We're gonna
I
go
was
check
not
out
in
the-"
that class.
Oh, you just came along with me, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the professor was like, "We're gonna go check out the architecture at the Blue Martini." I was like, "Oh, this should be interesting." And we went to the Palazzo.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, I checked out the martinis. I remember.
At the Palazzo?
No, at the Blue Martini.
Oh, I think we all did. That was a prerequisite, I believe. But I know that one of my professors took me to one of the circ shows to talk about, I think Kai, was that the name of it? The one with the stage with the
Ka.
sand? Ka.
I
And
think.
that one was crazy. And I was so, I mean, just things that's when I got so into the engineering aspect of it
Yeah.
because I was more interested in how the stage moved than I was like
The mechanics of it
yeah,
all,
like the
yeah.
pretty of it. And then I realized that all of that has to do with design. It's not all about being pretty. It's about a space functioning and
Yeah.
how it works and but also being aesthetically pleasing. And that is a fun like puzzle to me.
Which is why we make such a good team, because that's still how it is. Hillary loves the back end, like the front end of the design process, and I love the finishing, like the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we
the tchotchkes.
Yeah. The fabrics and the trims and the accessorizing and the whole finishing part. But we both
I want to talk about your plumbing.
we both touch a little of all aspects, but yeah, that's typically kind of how we got started. Was like we both brought different aspects to to the team we've created. But
I mean, which is a pretty important part. So we always talk about this with our clients and, just people asking how we got started. Interior design is such a huge umbrella of what all you can do. I mean, some people spend their entire career just doing window treatments or working in stone or paint, I guess. I mean, well, faux finishing. Yeah. But I did faux finishing for a period of time. But we both touched on all the different facets of interior design. So I worked for a company in California that did custom furniture. So I had to literally design the furniture and how it functioned. And filing cabinets, are not 8.5 by 11 like a piece of paper. They literally have to hold the actual folder that holds the paper. So if there was a small little hiccup with that project, but things you learn. But I touched on custom furniture where Brittany did more high-end furniture.
Yeah, and lighting. Worked in the lighting industry for a huge lighting company on the West Coast, and also did, again, more of the finishing, like high-end furniture and design for a lot of the residences and lofts in Las Vegas. So it was a whole different, like, design aesthetic, and also really the beginning stages of design were, I feel like, different because houses there are not built like they are here. So it's a lot of things. I remember doing a loft in Las Vegas, and we were, it was a huge loft, but there was only a freight elevator that wasn't the normal size of like a normal freight elevator. It was smaller. So I was like, ordered
Mm-hmm.
a sectional, you might not be able to get that sectional into the space.
Learned that the hard way too.
I ordered a drapery rod for a whole wall and couldn't get it to fit in the, so it was like a lot of things like that I feel like, working in different aspects of the industry taught us all of those lessons early on.
I mean, I designed a conference table, and obviously West Coast was different because Vegas, California, space is a lot different. Out here, buildings are in a parking, you have a parking lot with huge doors. You can obviously just walk in. But trying to figure out if you could get a stone conference table onto the third floor with a staircase and like and I'm like, I have no clue. I'm out there with a tape measure just doing it at weird angles. Like, I feel like this could work.
Yeah.
Like, what? So it went so much, past, oh, that's pretty. Like, that's a pretty table, or this would complement my design. It's like logistics behind things is something that you just don't really think about.
I remember trying to figure out the logistics on when I worked in lighting, how to get like a huge chandelier. It was like for a 2-story area, but it was for a vacation house in Cabo. So
yes,
that was interesting.
Do you have their contact info?
Yeah, I'm like, I'll install it personally. I'll come and can I stay there for 2 weeks?
Definitely a 2-week install for this light fixture.
So yeah, but I feel like we should back up and tell people the funny story about how we actually met at design school.
Yes, so funny. If you know me now, I'm probably known to be a little more chatty, but
not back then.
Not back then. I was very timid and soft-spoken, and I wanted to study abroad. They had a program where you could go to London and do a quarter there, and I had always wanted to travel, and so I talked to my professor about it and asked what would I need to do and what were the first steps, and he was like, you should go talk to this other girl that wants to go to London as well. So he gave me her name, and he was like, she's right over there. And so I just walked up to her, and social anxiety forgot how to introduce myself or anything of the sort, and just said, hi, would you like to move to London with me? And she said yes.
Yeah, I was like, honestly, I wanted to go so bad that
I didn't seem that crazy.
Yeah, at first I was like, okay, I'm doing this, I don't care. But then you start thinking like, oh my gosh, like moving from Louisiana to Las Vegas was one thing, but going by yourself to London, even though it was, temporarily for school, it was still kind of daunting.
Didn't care.
As a young girl. But I was like, how can I make this happen? So yeah, I talked to my professor, and I was like, is there anybody else from this school going? And so I guess he had kind of kept that in mind. And so I knew he must have talked to her and that she wasn't totally crazy for me. So I was like, oh yeah, sure, this is awesome. I guess I'll get to know her later, figure this out.
Program didn't last. It actually was the last. We didn't.
So bummed.
We missed the cutoff, but we started to hang out, so that was fun.
Yeah, I think they even dropped like the course we needed or something. Like it was something.
It was just like not even an option anymore.
That was so sad. I remember we were even still like, should we still go? We should have. We definitely.
We went to Australia, but no London. We should do that.
Yeah, definitely. You go later?
I did.
Yeah,
I went to London in
Would you go
2015.
back?
Yeah, of course. You would be slightly disappointed as a foodie. Not great, but everything else is great. Weather's not great either, but I'm really not selling it at all. But it was awesome.
Let's just go to Italy instead.
Yes. Okay. We'll do that. I am trying to go to Venice before it falls under the water, but yeah, we should do that soon. Oh, so then I moved to, after we went to design school, we should do that too. So we went to design school, then I moved to California, and Brittany moved back home. And so we continue to work in all of our different interior design, places. And then I hated California, no offense, but it was not Texas by by any means. And so I called Brittany upset and said I was going to move to New York or Austin or
Chicago, huh? Was it Chicago?
I still don't think I ever wanted to.
No.
It was just, I know those two were definitely the top of my list. And she was like, or you could move to Prairieville. And I was like,
just try it.
That sounds crazy.
What do you got to lose?
But I think the next day I rented a U-Haul, which I had a little truck at the time, and I was definitely going to just try to get a trailer to attach to my truck and drive it across country, even though I had never pulled a trailer before either. And I needed to leave like the next day. Like I had decided the next day was the day.
I think it helped. I think we should point out, because this is so odd to me, that Hillary from West Texas and me from little old Prairieville, like whenever Hillary asked me where I was from, I was like, oh, like, do you know where New Orleans is? Like people not from here don't know where Prairieville is. And so I was like, kind of between Baton Rouge and New Orleans. And she was like, oh, really? My grandfather lived
Prairieville
somewhere over there. I was like, Prairieville? She was like, yeah, that's it. Like, no way. This is like, what are the odds of that? Like,
I don't know.
Did he still live here?
As a math person, I probably should know that. Yeah. When I moved here, he still lived here.
Yeah. I'm like, that's so weird.
Yeah. But
Kismet meant to be? I don't know.
Kismet's a good word for that.
Yeah.
But, and then I decided that I was moving. I went to get my trailer. The trailer, the poor guy could not make it work. So he said, best option is I give you this U-Haul, but we have slim pickings, so it's the size of a U-Haul that could fit a 3-bedroom apartment, which granted, I had a studio apartment in California that had I think I had one chair that I needed to take back.
You had like a pull out, because I came stay with
Murphy
you.
bed. We weren't able to pull a trailer, so I had to rent the 3-bedroom U-Haul. And he said the best option is to put my truck on a trailer and pull the trailer behind the U-Haul, which now seems asinine, but that day did not seem that crazy.
That showed the difference right there. I was like, okay, if I'm going to Las Vegas, there's no way I'm driving across the country. Like, no, I'm not doing it. So
you flew and made someone bring your stuff.
Same thing on the way home.
Bougie. Oh God, you get on my nerves.
That's so long to be in a car. And then what if something happens? And then we're like, what if I break down and then I got this whole? I don't know.
I remember driving a U-Haul, pulling a trailer, which I had never done, and Facebooking on my phone.
Oh my gosh.
It like 2011. I don't even think I don't even know what kind of phone.
You must have those ones you like had to press 4 times to text one letter.
I love that. And hate
BlackBerry?
it. Yeah. No.
Was
that was a
phone?
T9. What is that?
Phone
That was a
those days?
No, Nokia did it. I definitely had one of those. It was a type of God, will be so disappointed in me. There's definitely a type of, it's a text type, but needless to say. And I remember, like, I just knew I couldn't back up. So just only go into a gas station that you could pull straight into. And then out pops this, like, 22, 23-year-old, now I'm a child driving, pulling that is crazy.
Yeah.
And then I pull up to my parents' house because obviously I made a pit stop on the way to Louisiana. And I just remember my dad being flabbergasted. Also, I had to go fix like 3 flat tires on my truck because somehow that happened. But needless to say, now I look back and I'm like, that is probably
crazy,
a little weird. But, you know, it didn't seem like. And I wanted to load the U-Haul in the middle of the night, but the apartment had like cobblestones, so everything I would pull in the dolly would make so much noise. So then I decided to get up at 6 a.m. to load the U-Haul.
I remember you telling me you had that that heavy ass coffee table that was like,
still got it. The cart.
Yeah, like had the iron wheels and stuff, dragging it down steps.
That's not the story.
No. What was it?
So technically, I It was at my boyfriend's house that was in Arizona,
Oh.
and I was supposed to move there, but I decided not to. So I just stopped in Arizona, grabbed the coffee table, and then continued on across the
Well, I
country.
thought you had that coffee table in
I
California, though.
did, but he left to Arizona before me.
Oh.
And then I just decided to grab the coffee table
Mm.
because the coffee table was important.
Yeah, that meant more than the.
The relationship.
Yeah.
I
Sorry,
don't
fella.
think he's going to watch this. But, and then his apartments were stupid. They were like split. Either way, you had to go up either a half flight of stairs to get to the elevator or go down half a flight of stairs to get to the elevator. So it was like a 200-pound coffee table. I don't know if that's really true or not, but I could not pick it up. So you could roll it, but then you had to make a choice. And I straight turned that thing over and pushed it down some stairs and then had to like get on my butt and like pull it across. And like finally some dude saw me and was like, do you need help? And then he
You
got
were
me.
like, no, I'm good.
No, this time, because yes, normally, yes, I
do
would
it herself.
never admit I needed help,
Never.
but I had went and got like his comforter and like laid it down the stairs and was trying to pull it down. It was crazy. And then this dude was like, do you need help? And I was like, yes. And then he gets me to the elevator and he was going to go back to his apartment. I was like, but I need help getting it in the U-Haul as well. And he was, so then he followed me. That was so helpful. I wish I knew that dude.
That was
Thank
love.
you. Yeah. No, but I definitely was very appreciative. But that was
No, I meant
nuts.
love for the coffee table. That's
Oh,
what I meant.
same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would've-
No, it actually,
I'll
I don't
get a
have
new
it in my
one.
house right now, but it
Mm-mm.
does have a storage unit because I can't part ways with it. Sentimental.
Add that to our rental division, maybe.
Yes. Oh, yeah. FYI, we have a rental division
Yes.
coming up. I'm sure we'll circle back on that another day.
Yeah.
We always got a new idea.
So let's talk about where we are now versus I feel like it's been a lifetime since we started in our little design studio in Baton Rouge.
Oh, that's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I don't think we ever finished the story, to be honest, but we one day, like talking to each other, we were like, okay, so we have done window treatments. I had worked in stone with Turkish stonemasons, and we have done that furniture. We've done lighting. I'm like, I think we have a pretty good understanding of every
Design as a whole,
aspect
yeah.
of design, which also is probably not true.
Not
'cause-
every,
yeah,
for
because
sure.
we
Like,
definitely
there's
learned
so
a lot
much.
once we opened a business.
So
Open a
much.
business.
Still
It'll be
learning.
fun.
Yeah.
It
What
is
were
so
we
much
thinking?
fun. But, and also everyone told us it was, as soon as you open a business, have to learn it's a whole new.
Like honestly, we should have went to business school. All you aspiring interior designers also go to business school.
But
if you don't want to work for someone the rest of your life.
But so we decided to go out on our own, and we found a little studio. It wasn't a studio. I mean,
Just
Is
we
it-
weren't open to
it
the
was
public.
quaint. It was
Yeah.
a quaint little office
what we
space
needed.
that had a warehouse. And so we received our own furniture and did all the things, but we just didn't have a huge showroom.
Yeah.
And then
It was like what 2,000 square feet.
It was.
Something like
exactly. And
that. Look at me remembering numbers.
and then the space next door opened up, and we felt like we needed that space too. So then we took that over. And then one random day we came to work and everything had flooded.
Yeah, that was fun.
And Brittany looked at me and said, we should move and we should have a showroom. And that was that.
Yeah.
The time I decided to listen.
Yikes. I was like, I'm not going through this again. Like every time it would have a
It was just a random
heavy
rain. Yeah.
But like there was multiple times where
there
we'd
was
be-
cars floating through our parking lot. It was
Yes.
insane.
and we were like raised up. Like the parking lot was
Yeah.
raised. The street was always flooded when it would rain.
Yeah.
Multiple times where I would be scared, and I have a large SUV that I would.
I was not
Be
scared.
stranded.
I was I still in my truck?
No,
That
you
truck
were
got
not.
me through things.
That poor little truck. But yeah, I was like, I'm not doing this again. That was, I don't know. I just felt like, and we had so many accessories, and
Correct.
like when we do installs, it's, we like for people to be able to see their whole space like to completion. So, instead of ordering like, a little flower arrangement, let's special order that. We want them to see like the complete look, and we accessorize fully whenever we do install, set it all up, and then see what you vibe with, see what you like as far as the little things. So we have all these accessories and pillows and textiles and artwork and all this stuff that we had to
accumulated over the process.
Yeah, that we kept on hand. I'm like, we're busting at the seams. Yep. Let's like, instead of all this stuff sitting here, let's be open to the public.
Ugh. It was a great idea.
Yeah, and then the economy went to complete. Well, also we went through COVID.
We did COVID.
Which, looking back, I'm like, was great for us. Kind of.
We had a good project.
But I'm like,
we were also essential because we were building. So
yes.
We still continued to work.
I meant great for us in the fact that like everybody was staying home, looking at their house, thinking like,
yes,
I need to do something. Like instead of being at work, focus on work all the time, people were, I need to redo my home office if I'm going to be here this much, or I need, sprucing up those things that they've been neglecting. Yes, COVID was horrible. It was just a bad time, but right after COVID, like on the back end of it, we
aspect of things,
it was good, you know. So,
but then, but shortly after was also
bad.
But here we are. This is positive.
We made it through.
We're here to be positive.
Somehow we have made it through.
Because we love what we do.
We do.
That's why we're still here. So we found this little space, and by little I mean 8,000 square feet.
We're like, this is perfect.
It was a huge transition.
Huge undertaking.
It was a Cox building, oddly enough. So
Cox training facility.
Also, that is very much it. There was urinals, which was interesting.
Manly
I was
space.
not used to urinals. So we have made it our own, and we've at this point have been here 5 years.
Yeah, totally gutted, remodeled, redid the exterior, the building, interior. I'm like, I feel like the only thing we haven't touched is the warehouse. We did a little there, but still a work in progress,
It works perfectly. That's working in progress.
Yep.
So we have a fairly large showroom, and we have plenty of design space and also our warehouse. So we have pretty much everything that we've always dreamed of as far as a loading dock would be. Icing on the cake. But yeah.
We've made it without it, we
don't
muscles. Have a warehouse guy. We receive.
You're looking at him.
Unload these babies right here. Unpack. We do it all. That wear all the hats.
Which we plan on showing y'all all of that, because honestly, that's the funny part of all of this. It's entertaining.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
But I mean, every day when you get a delivery, it's like Christmas. So
it is.
Even though
we forgot we ordered
you're outside sweating, it is fun to see what. It's still the first thing I want to do is unbox something and go see what it is. So it is a little different. We have pictures of me in the dumpster at our old studio because we were trying to, save $1. But,
pack it
which
down.
We're still trying to save $1. But there was definitely, try to do all the things. That's been probably the funnest part of the whole process is trying to figure out how to make it all work.
Yeah.
While also trying to create, beautiful spaces. But doing the design and doing the install is such a small portion of what we do. And so every client we talk to is like, oh my gosh, I bet your life is so glamorous. And we just chuckle.
Fluff pillows and just, oh, it's so pretty. I'm like, yes.
So you're like, yes, it is actually getting to see the homeowner's response is the best part.
Most rewarding, for sure.
when I used to watch design shows back in the day, that was always my favorite, was like the reveal, which I'm sure that's everybody's favorite, but like the reveal and getting to hear all of the, comments from the clients about the space. But that always seems so awesome. Like, but actually getting the emails and the text messages about how a space has affected a client's life is
thank you notes and
I actually just got chills, because it kind of made, I got a text from a client probably 3-4 years after I worked on their home, and he was like, I don't even know if you remember me, but I just wanted to let you know that your idea for our kids' playroom, to turn our office into the grandkids' playroom that had like sliding doors and stuff so they could close it off, but the kids could still be a part of their living room. He was like, we use it every single day, and it is our favorite part of the house. And I was like, I think I might cry. But
something similar. I did a home, and she needed like grandkids, always came over, and like family gatherings, and they had like multiple small like sitting spaces, but she wanted everybody at one table.
Mm-hmm.
So I did this huge custom table with like long benches, and she sent me a picture for like, I think it was Thanksgiving or Christmas or something, and all the grandkids and kids were lined up at the table, and she was like, oh, this just warms my heart, you made it happen. It's like, it's things like that really make it all worth it.
That is the reason right there. Yeah. Trying to figure out how to make a space beautiful but practical and function for your client is the most important.
Everybody uses their space in their house and functions differently, like in daily life. So like, we don't design spaces for us or what's pretty or what makes sense. Like, we're designing it for how you live.
That is one thing that I still to this day have yet to figure out. Like, a client will see a space and they'll say, oh, this looks so much like Britt Hill, and I'm like, I don't know what that even means. I think I like it when they say that, but then also I'm like, well, first of all, what does Britt Hill look like? Because it's two people that have completely different design aesthetics.
Yeah.
And also, I'm designing for my client.
Right.
But I also like that, we have a look, I guess, but also I want it to be the client's look.
Right.
I think a space being beautiful and your client being ecstatic and it's still a part of our, us is the ultimate win.
Yep, definitely.
Thank everybody for joining us. We had a fantastic time.
Yeah. I was so nervous about this. Like, I would never listen to this, but
absolutely not.
Yeah. I'm both like excited that this is over, but then I can't wait for the next one too, because I have so much to talk about.
I know.
It's weird.
Huh. Do you think people find us as interesting as we do?
No.
I think more so.
You think?
I don't know. That's what they tell us.
We'll see. Maybe like it if you liked it.
Obviously, people told us to do this. We didn't just decide today that this is what we're going to do.
If you didn't like it, just don't tell me.
No, please leave that in the comments. I would love to hear y'all's feedback. Leave positive, negative, whatever type of comments you would like. I'm not going to read them, so it'll be fine. And you can leave questions that we can elaborate on.
Yes, we do want to hear what you want to know about us, about design, about anything. Please
Brittany's going to give you an answer, and I'm going to tell you how that's not what I would do, but that's going to be the fun part.
Everyday life.
See how that works. We're going to show you some behind the scenes. We're going to show you our house. We're going to show you some projects. We're going to show you all the things. So let us know what you are most interested in. We're going to just keep doing this because at least it lets us have a cocktail on a random afternoon. So that's the win.
Makes
here.
It all worth it.
So thank y'all for coming. If you're local, definitely come stop by and see us.
Yes.
If you're not, follow us. We have all the things. She's going to rattle them off.
Social media, follow us. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Get on our
We have a house, I think. We have a Pinterest. We have things that I don't even know about.
Visit our website. Links to everything.
We also have an online boutique. You can always peruse
Shop
that if you're
in the
bored.
middle of the night, like I do, before I can't go to bed. Shop Britt Hill Interiors.
That's awesome. And we are going to do this weekly. That sounds awesome.
That's the goal.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Oh. Cheers.
Signing off. Bye, y'all.
Bye.